If you're running a community bank or a credit union, you already know that trust and your local presence, well, those are your superpowers. But what if I told you the battle for new members is being won or lost long before anyone ever walks through your physical doors? That's what we're going to dig into today, how mastering local search can turn your online presence into your most valuable branch.
Just think about it for a second. For decades, the answer was obvious, right? It was the friendly teller at the local branch. But in today's world, that first handshake, it's almost always digital. People aren't driving around town looking for a bank anymore. They're just pulling out their phones.
And yeah, the numbers back this up in a big way. A staggering 80% of consumers are checking you out online before they even think about visiting a branch. They're Googling you, they're reading reviews, checking your hours, and if you're not there, or if what they find is a mess, you're basically invisible to 4 out of every 5 potential customers.
So this is the big idea we have to wrap our heads around. Your Google business profile, your Yelp page, your listing on Apple Maps, that is the new front door to your bank. So is it unlocked? Is it clean and inviting? Or is it outdated and hard to find? Because customers will walk right past a confusing digital door to your competitors, which is wide open.
All right, so this brings us to the heart of it all, winning that near me search. You might think there's no way you can compete with the giant national banks, but this is exactly where the game changes. Your local identity isn't a weakness, it's your single biggest advantage, and we're going to see how to use it. You gotta understand, there are two different games being played here. Trying to rank for something broad like best checking accounts, that's a really tough fight against massive marketing budgets. But local SEO, that's totally different. It targets people who are ready to act right now. People searching for a mortgage lender in St. Louis. That's your home turf. And you better believe Google takes this stuff seriously. Banking falls under a special category Google calls Your Money, Your Life, or YMIL. And because these searches can have a huge impact on someone's life, Google's algorithm holds financial institutions to the absolute highest standard. That's why things like an inaccurate phone number or inconsistent hours aren't just tiny mistakes. They're major red flags to Google that can cause your rankings to just plummet. And that's why local SEO is such a game changer. It's not about outspending the competition. It's about being more relevant, more accurate, and more trusted right there in your own backyard. It's the most effective way to get hyper-visible to the very customers who are actively looking for you. So you're probably asking, okay, great, but what do I actually do? Let's get practical. We've put together a simple checklist to help you get your digital branch in perfect order, starting with the absolute fundamentals. Look, it really boils down to these 3 pillars. Think of them as non-negotiable. First, every single branch needs its own fully optimized Google business profile. Second, your basic contact info, your name, address, phone number, has to be perfectly consistent. And third, each branch location needs its own dedicated home on your website. I want to pause on this one for a second because this is the single most common and most damaging mistake we see. Your name, address, and phone number, what we call NAP, must be identical everywhere, down to the last comma. Is it street or is it stee? Is it suite or stee? To a person, it looks the same, but to a search engine, that's a completely different address. These tiny inconsistencies scream unreliable to Google, and they can seriously crush your visibility. So, perfecting your Google business profile is job number 1, and it is not a set-it-and-forget-it task. You have to fill out every single field, add real photos of your team, not just stock photos. Post weekly updates, maybe about a new auto loan rate or a local little league you're sponsoring. Keep it fresh, keep it active. This is what tells Google you're open for business and engaged with the community. Okay, so once you're visible online, the job's not done, not even close. The next step is to build trust. This is where you take all those technical signals and turn them into the real-world confidence that your entire brand is built on. Reviews are absolutely critical here. They're a massive ranking factor for Google and, of course, a huge trust signal for potential customers. But here's the thing. Most happy customers won't leave a review unless you ask. So train your staff. Make it super easy with QR codes. And here's the golden rule. Respond to every single review, good or bad, within 48 hours. It just shows that you're listening. And it's not just about getting 5-star ratings. As you can see, Google is looking at a blend of 3 things. Quality is your average star rating, sure. But then there's quantity, the total number of reviews you have. And finally, freshness. How recent are they? This means having 100 great reviews from 5 years ago is actually less valuable than getting a steady stream of new positive reviews every month. It's got to be an ongoing process. Another really powerful way to build that local trust is through your content. Don't just write about your banking products, write about things your community actually cares about. Did you sponsor the high school football team? Post pictures and a recap. Create a blog post analyzing the local housing market. This stuff reinforces your expertise and proves you're committed to the community you serve. Finally, and this is so important, local SEO isn't a one-time project you can just check off a list. It's an ongoing operation. To really win at this, you have to measure your results, adapt your strategy, and make this a core part of how your bank actually grows. So, what should you actually be tracking? Well, this breaks it down pretty simply. Right inside your Google business profile, you can literally see how many people clicked to call your branch or requested driving directions. These are not just vanity metrics, they are direct lines to new business. They represent real people who are ready to take action and walk through your door.
So let's just wrap this up with the absolute must-knows. Treat your Google business profile like it's your most important local marketing tool, because it is. Make that NAP consistency an obsession. Actively go after and manage your reviews. And please, make sure your website is fast and easy to use on a phone, because that's where most of your customers are finding you.
And that brings us right back to where we started. After everything we've talked about, I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. Is your digital front door truly open for business? Because in today's world, that's where your next great member relationship is going to begin.